What's going on, everybody? Want to give a little bit of an update on what's going on with the map, and I had to do a little bit of a restart. You can see this is looking pretty good for a wilderness map. We have a nice bridge here. We zoom in, and it's pretty flush with the road. We can jump into first-person mode here in a second. Actually, that's probably best. Let's go ahead and do that. In first-person mode, we can run and see it is clean. We got it perfect there. But some of the problems, wasn't necessarily with that. But you can see here we're working on getting a sawmill. It is functional. The gas station's functional. The dealership over here was functional, as well as here we have the animal dealership where you can buy the animals and a farmer's market. And it does look a little different than when we last showed you because I ran into some problems and I wanted to restart the map and the location here. You can see the idea was to have 4 roads that kind of lead to somewhat nowhere here, run into some trees, run into some trees, and then this was left for an industrial area expansion, maybe productions. But let me load up a fresh game and show you the problems I ran into. And we're gonna do a fresh map on Riverbed Springs. We'll do starter farm, why not? Let's load it up, let's check it out. All right, we should be at about 100%. We're gonna jump in here. Once I hit escape, you notice there's grass everywhere. Let's jump into fly mode. So this is new modder trying to learn how to make custom maps, and the terrain and everything that I was adjusting ended up being on the same exact info layers as the Riverbed Springs playthrough. So you can see the river's kind of broken right here because I made those changes. And so I'm gonna have to start over. I'm gonna try to transfer some things, but my game is kind of broken right now. Luckily, the way some of these changes to the map files work, that it didn't actually break my save. My save has the older version of the info layers and the terrain layers and all of that on them. But you can see this is not doable, and we did the wrong thing. So we're learning. See, there's just driving on the grass there, covering up the roads. Fun stuff. But I did learn a lot. I got everything organized. But yeah, all the spruce trees, we had a placeholder for a couple spruce trees, but all the spruce trees are in one object, so I could, technically go file export, and I'll be able to move some of this stuff pretty quickly over to the new map that I start. But that was a big problem. We're gonna do a little bit more detailing here to get this looking a little bit more finished. As you can see, we did some curbs on this side. And the idea, the spirit of this was there was a town that was being established and it was abandoned. And now we had some investors come in to reestablish it, so to say. And that's where we're gonna pick up when we start our save file. But just want to give you guys a quick little update on where we're at. And I'll show you what I'm gonna use to start the map here next. And here it is I was playing around with some things on it so far, but it is a flat map by Farmer Bob. We went ahead and borrowed his flat map to get started. We'll add some hills, we'll add some terrain, but I'm gonna play with that. Here was my test of using splines to create roads, and it was pretty cool. But let's go ahead and try to do that export just to kind of show off a little bit of what you can do with this game, or with the engine here. Let's grab the gas station. So if I go under map, I believe, locations, buildings, I should have my gas station under buying stations. So that's a little too much for that entire cluster. Oh, I think those decals are under there. Yep, that's what's going on. But if we went ahead and did file, I'm gonna go ahead and export selected with files, and we're gonna find my new location where the map's gonna go, right here. I'm gonna create a new folder called imports, and I'm gonna import that right to there so it's in the map. Oh, let's give it a name. Actually, let's make a folder in here called gas. Let's call it gas for now, and we'll call this gas. Do I have parent structure? No. Do you want to keep the relative paths? Yes. Okay, so this stuff I'm still learning. I'm not sure if I'm even doing this right, but we're gonna do it live, and we might edit this out of the video. But here it is. We'll plop that in there, and we can see now if we drop this to ground level, it gets us a decent start, and I'll do it a little more sanely when we actually start moving things around. I'm going to try to move the terrain and everything from that to really get me back to where I was pretty quickly. But you can see right there, that's pretty quick. We'll do another one too. Let's grab the animal dealer. Nah, let's do the farmer's market, because I think I did everything right there. We're going to go ahead and export with files, and we'll call this farmers underscore market. And then we'll come back in here and import it to the new map. And that should be the same thing where it's not that, yeah. Kind of went right where it belongs, but I just had to drop it down to ground level, and I think we went a little too far with that now. Let's just do 0. I don't know what he did for the ground level. 5 seems too small, or too high, excuse me. Already forgetting my controls here. Let's get a good view. And that seems a little too high still. And get the doors right like that. And then if we hit this little I button, yeah, that's not bad. See this, the zoning, the zones, and there's no triggers there when we do this import. We'll have to do that differently. But yeah, just a little quick view of what we're working on. And going back to the original map, was going to do a lot more detailing, you know, add some concrete. Over here, I was actually going to replace this with a different building. We're not going to go with that for the final take, but that's kind of the idea of what this map's going to be for my first go. And I'm definitely learning that I'm becoming somewhat of a perfectionist with the detailing, and this is not good enough. And that's why it's been taking me so long to do this. See the worn out spots, was trying to make this look like it was established years ago, abandoned, and all of that. But while I'm in here, one thing I did want to look at is I think I had some of these, yeah, these props were off just a hair. So if we go here and grab the transform group, just move them a little bit closer, and that looks much better. But yeah, just a quick little update. We'll get these coming out a little bit more regularly now that we're through Christmas, and I'm hoping to have this map actually done in the next week or so. So we're going to be focusing on it a lot the rest of the day today. Right now, just to give you some truth here, it's 29th, it's Sunday, and I'm going to be working on this pretty much the rest of the day and try to get it good for you. Maybe another update later this week. Socks way up. Thanks for hanging out.